Good evening. My name is John Brooks, and I'm running for Congress in the 51st Congressional District. A little bit on my background, staying with the forum here. I come from a family of people who served. My two great uncles served in World War II. My father and my uncle were in the Korean conflict. My nephew is a Marine, and two of my cousins served proudly as Marines. My grandmother, my mother, and my sister, my oldest sister, all served as nurses. And I followed their lead by being a career government employee. I worked for the federal government for 30 years. I majored in wildlife biology, being the first American of African descent to graduate with a degree in wildlife biology from the University of Montana. I got a job with the United States Fish and Wildlife Service Department of Interior, working as a wildlife biologist, a wildlife inspector, and then a special agent in law enforcement. Did that for 26 years. In 2001, I volunteered to be a U.S. Air Marshal for 7 months until we could, as the government trained new air marshals, we needed to make the airways safe, and I volunteered to do that. I retired in 2008 with 50 years government, 50 years of age, 30 years government service. And last year, I decided I was going to move to Spain. But then Arab Spring happened, and then discontent happened in our country, and the country's a mess. And I could not leave this country in good conscience without trying to do something. Some would argue I did my time. I did 30 years government service. I would argue that too, but something needs to be done. And I want to step in and I want to help the country out. My federal government service makes me uniquely qualified to step up to the plate of being a congressional candidate as opposed to city council, school board, or something like that. I know the federal system. People are being thrown out of their houses. Our children are not being educated. And we keep electing the same old politicians over and over and over again. We all complain about how we don't like them, but yet we put them right back in office. Now's the time to step into the plate and do something. Do not be afraid to vote for new people. If you really want to change, vote in change. I'm here because I care. I want to give a voice to those who don't have a voice. And there's many in the district that I'm running in 51st that do not have a voice. It's a district of immigrants. It's a district of minorities, minorities of the minorities, and people that aren't heard. This is why I'm here today with one other candidate for the 51st and no one else. You're voiceless. The 51st people are considered to have no voice. I want to give them a voice. Everyone should have an equal opportunity for schooling, equal opportunity to have a decent job, and an equal opportunity to raise a family. The one thing that makes us equal in this society is quality education. The very thing that your parents work so hard for, and the reason that you work so hard every day, is to bring your kids a better life than you had, and that's being stripped away. We need to restore our education system. We need to restore confidence into this government, and that's why the people take the power back.
Yeah.
Again, I served 30 years from the federal government, 26 in law enforcement. I am probably the only candidate in the 51st district who has worked the entire district. I worked in San Diego County, Imperial County, for 13 years before I retired in 2008. Border crime, that was my thing. 2 a.m. in the morning, they called me out to take care of things. All of Imperial County, I worked it. I know what the people are going through. I want to give them a voice, and I hope if you're in my district that you consider voting for me, John Brooks, Congressional candidate, 51st District. And I like to end with a saying I used to say as a kid. I studied martial arts as a kid, and it was a Chinese saying I'll never forget. It had to do with fear. It said, fear will control you, it will consume you, control your being, but it will only have power over you as long as you allow it to. If you embrace your fears and make it a part of your hopes and dreams, it will cease to control you. So I ask you to not be afraid to vote in change, not to be afraid to vote in people that you think will do a good job. We are stronger together. I need your support, and I'm asking for your support, so thank you very much.